Hi friends, and welcome back to the channel. If you're over 60 or somewhere around there, you're in good company. Getting older is something we all do, but some of the signs can sneak up on us in quiet, unexpected ways. Today, we're diving into 4 subtle changes that may seem small, but actually say a lot about how our bodies are aging, especially for us men. This isn't about fear or vanity. It's about awareness, dignity, and feeling good in your skin. And stick around because I'll be sharing real-life examples, a few gentle tips, and most importantly, some encouraging insights on how to age with strength and confidence. Let's get into it. Let's start with something that tends to creep in slowly and silently: muscle loss. For a lot of men over 60, this change happens without any major warning signs. You might look in the mirror and think, I haven't lost weight, but why do my clothes fit differently? That's a clue your muscles might be shrinking, even if the scale stays the same. The technical term for this is sarcopenia, and it's a natural part of aging. Beginning around our 50s, we gradually lose muscle mass each year, and it speeds up if we're not doing anything to stop it. The tricky part is, this doesn't always show up as weakness right away. It might just feel like your jeans are looser around the thighs or your shirts don't hug your arms the way they used to. Sometimes it's subtle enough that we just chalk it up to old clothes or laundry shrinkage. But really, it's your body changing. And here's the thing: losing muscle isn't just about appearance. Muscles play a huge role in how we move, balance, and even in how much energy we have. When we lose muscle, we can start to feel a little more tired doing the things we used to breeze through, like carrying groceries, working in the yard, or going up the stairs. Over time, that can lead to a drop in confidence and a greater risk of falls. But here's the good news: you don't need to spend hours in the gym or lift heavy weights to keep your muscles strong. Just a little consistent effort goes a long way. Light strength training, using resistance bands, or even bodyweight exercises like wall push-ups or chair squats can help maintain and even rebuild muscle over time. If that feels intimidating, even daily walking, gardening, or gentle stretching counts as movement, and movement is the key. I once knew a man in his 70s who started a simple morning routine with just 5 minutes of chair exercises and a couple of soup cans for light resistance. Within a few months, he noticed his posture improved, his clothes fit better, and he had more energy to play with his grandkids. It wasn't dramatic, but it was steady, and it made a world of difference in how he felt each day. So if your pants feel a little looser lately, or you've noticed your strength isn't quite what it used to be, don't worry. It's not a sign of weakness. It's just your body telling you it needs a little more attention. And giving it that attention can be as simple as starting small and staying steady. Remember, it's not about turning back the clock. It's about supporting your body to feel its best right now, in this season of life. One of the more surprising and sometimes amusing signs of aging, especially for men, shows up in the most unexpected places: your hair. Not just the usual thinning on top, but the little hairs that start popping up where you never thought they would, like in your ears, nose, and even those unruly eyebrows. It might catch you off guard the first time you notice it. Maybe your spouse or a close friend gently points it out, or you catch a glimpse of yourself in the mirror under bright light and think, when did that happen? Suddenly, there they are: longer, thicker, or more numerous hairs in places that didn't seem to need them before. This is a natural part of getting older, caused by changes in hormone levels. Testosterone shifts, and while it can lead to hair loss on the scalp, it can also cause hair to grow more in these unexpected places. For many men, this wise wizard look can be a little funny. A reminder that aging isn't just about what we lose, but also about what changes in surprising ways. One good friend of mine, who's in his late 60s, tells a story about how he was sitting at breakfast when his wife handed him a small pair of scissors and said, "You might want to take care of those eyebrows before your grandkids start calling you the hairy grandpa." He laughed, but he took her advice seriously and now keeps a small grooming kit handy. Grooming might not have been something you thought much about in the past, but as these subtle changes happen, a little regular care can make a big difference. Not because anyone else expects it, but because it helps you feel neat, polished, and in control. Trimming your eyebrows and the hair in your ears and nose isn't about vanity. It's about comfort and confidence. It's about feeling like yourself every day. Plus, it's safer. Long nasal or ear hairs can sometimes be uncomfortable or even get caught when putting on a hat or jacket. There's also something psychologically reassuring about taking these small steps. It's a way to show yourself kindness and respect, and to say, yes, I'm aging, but I'm still here, and I'm taking care of me. In many ways, these little routines become quiet rituals that connect us to who we are now, with a bit of wisdom and a good sense of humor. If you're unsure how to start, there are plenty of tools designed just for this purpose. Small electric trimmers made for sensitive areas, rounded scissors for safety, and even grooming kits that include everything you might need. And if you ever feel overwhelmed or uncertain, asking for help is always okay. Whether it's a family member, a trusted barber, or a professional groomer, many people enjoy helping with these kinds of personal care tasks. Aging brings many changes, some more obvious than others. The hair in your ears or your bushy eyebrows might feel like a small thing, but it's a real sign that your body is shifting, and embracing these changes with a gentle smile and a little grooming can make all the difference. Remember, this is just one part of the story. Next, we'll talk about changes in memory, another subtle but important sign to be aware of, and ways you can support your brain health as the years go by. Memory changes as we get older. That's something most of us notice at some point. Maybe it's the little things like walking into a room and forgetting why you went there, or misplacing your keys just for a moment. These moments can feel a bit frustrating and sometimes even a little scary. But here's the good news. Occasional forgetfulness is completely normal, and it doesn't mean you're losing your mind. Think about it this way. Our brains are like muscles too, and they change as time goes by. Some memory functions slow down, especially when it comes to recalling names or juggling lots of information at once. You might find that you remember stories from decades ago with ease, but have trouble recalling what you had for breakfast. That's a very common pattern. I know a gentleman named Tom who shared with me how he started noticing these little lapses. He'd walk into the kitchen to get a glass of water and suddenly couldn't remember why he went in. At first, he laughed it off. But then it started happening more often, and he wondered if it was something serious. He decided to talk to his doctor, and after some simple tests, he was reassured that this was a normal part of aging, not dementia or anything more concerning. That kind of reassurance is important. If you or someone you love notices frequent memory lapses that interfere with daily life, like forgetting appointments, struggling to follow conversations, or getting lost in familiar places, it's a good idea to see a healthcare professional. Early diagnosis and support can make a big difference. Beyond medical checks, there are practical ways to keep your memory sharp and your brain healthy. Think of your brain as a garden that needs regular tending. Activities like puzzles, reading, and even socializing are excellent mental exercises. Learning something new, like a language, a musical instrument, or a hobby, can spark new neural connections. Social connection is especially powerful. Studies show that spending time with friends, sharing stories, and laughing together can help protect against memory decline. So don't hesitate to join a club, call a friend, or attend community events. Your brain loves that kind of engagement. Also, don't underestimate the power of physical exercise. Walking, swimming, or gentle stretching improves blood flow to the brain, which helps keep it nourished and active. Nutrition matters too. Foods rich in antioxidants, omega-3 fatty acids, and vitamins, like berries, nuts, fish, and leafy greens, support brain health. And don't forget hydration. Even mild dehydration can make memory and concentration more difficult. Finally, be kind to yourself. It's easy to get anxious about memory slips, but stress actually makes things worse. If you notice a lapse, take a deep breath, give yourself a little grace, and remind yourself that this is a normal part of life. Tom's story reminds us that memory changes don't have to mean loss of independence or joy. By staying aware, seeking help when needed, and keeping the brain active, we can live rich, full lives with minds that stay vibrant. Next, we'll talk about balance, that feeling of steadiness that sometimes seems to wobble with age. and what you can do to keep steady on your feet. Balance is something most of us take for granted, until it starts to change. As men age, subtle shifts happen in how steady we feel on our feet. Maybe you notice that when you step off a curb or walk on an uneven ground, you feel a little unsteady or even shaky. This wobbly feeling can come on slowly, almost without us noticing at first, but it's an important sign of aging that you shouldn't ignore. Balance depends on several parts of the body working together: your muscles, your joints, your inner ear, which helps with spatial awareness, your vision, and even your nervous system. Over time, these systems may not communicate quite as smoothly as they once did. Muscles may weaken, reflexes slow down, or the inner ear sensors may become less sensitive. The result? A higher chance of trips, slips, and falls. Falls are actually one of the leading causes of injury in older adults, so paying attention to changes in balance is not just about comfort. It's about safety too. Even small wobbles, if left unaddressed, can increase your risk of more serious accidents. Let me share a story about a man named Harry. He was in his early 70s and always enjoyed long walks around his neighborhood. Over a few months, he started noticing that his footing felt less sure, especially when the pavement was cracked or wet. He shrugged it off at first, but then one day he almost stumbled getting out of his car. That moment was a wake-up call. He decided to do something about it. Harry began attending a gentle Tai Chi class at his local community center. Tai Chi is known for helping with balance and flexibility, and Harry found the slow, deliberate movements helped him regain confidence. He also started a simple daily routine at home, practicing standing on one leg while brushing his teeth, just 30 seconds on each side. It felt silly at first, but it made a difference. Within weeks, Harry noticed he was steadier on his feet and less worried about falling. Balance exercises don't have to be complicated or time-consuming. Things like yoga, Pilates, or even stretching can improve muscle strength and joint flexibility. Just make sure you start slow and ask your doctor or physical therapist if you're unsure about which activities are safe for you. Another important tip is to look around your home and remove tripping hazards like loose rugs, clutter, or poor lighting. Simple changes like adding grab bars in the bathroom or using non-slip mats can create a safer environment and help you feel more secure. Vision also plays a big role in balance. If your eyesight has changed, getting regular checkups and updating your glasses can make a surprising difference in how steady you feel. One last thing to remember: don't be embarrassed or discouraged if your balance isn't what it used to be. It's a natural part of aging, and taking small, consistent steps can help you stay active and independent. Being mindful of balance changes is a way of honoring your body's needs and protecting yourself from avoidable injuries. While listening to those early signs, that little wobble or hesitation, you're giving yourself a chance to adjust and thrive. Next up, we'll talk about fatigue after normal activities, why you might feel more tired than usual, and what you can do to boost your energy gently and naturally. Have you ever noticed that you feel more tired after doing everyday tasks that used to be easy? Maybe a walk around the block leaves you feeling drained, or carrying groceries feels like a bigger effort than it once was. This kind of fatigue after normal activities is a subtle but important sign of aging that many men experience. Our bodies naturally change over time. Our metabolism slows down, our muscles might not recover as quickly, and even our heart and lungs don't work quite as efficiently as they did when we were younger. All of these changes can mean that the same activities take more energy than before, leaving us feeling more worn out. Take my friend Jack, for example. He loved working in his garden every weekend, but over the past year he started noticing that after a few hours of digging and planting, he was exhausted for the rest of the day. At first, he thought maybe he wasn't sleeping well or was just having an off day. But it kept happening. Instead of pushing himself harder, Jack listened to his body and made some changes that helped a lot. One thing Jack did was to break his gardening into shorter sessions with rest breaks in between. Instead of working for hours at a stretch, he worked for 30 or 40 minutes, then took a break to sit down, have some water, and relax. This helped him pace himself and avoid that overwhelming fatigue. Another key was improving his overall fitness. He started walking daily, Just short, easy walks at first, to build up his stamina. Over time, his energy improved, and he found he could do more without feeling wiped out. Nutrition also plays a big role in energy levels. Eating balanced meals with plenty of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins gives your body the fuel it needs to keep going. Staying hydrated is just as important. Sometimes what feels like tiredness is really mild dehydration. Jack also learned to pay attention to his sleep quality. As we age, sleep patterns often change, and poor sleep can leave you feeling tired during the day. He made some simple adjustments like going to bed at the same time every night, avoiding caffeine late in the day, and creating a relaxing bedtime routine. Most importantly, Jack gave himself permission to slow down without feeling guilty. Aging doesn't mean you have to stop doing what you love, but it does mean listening to your body and adapting. It's okay to rest when you need it, and to approach activities with a new kind of mindfulness. If you're feeling unusually tired after your usual activities, it's also wise to check in with your doctor. Sometimes fatigue can be a sign of underlying health issues like anemia, thyroid problems, or heart conditions, things that can be treated once identified. Remember, feeling more tired doesn't mean you're weak or failing. It means your body is changing, and it needs a little more care and respect. By making small adjustments, pacing yourself, staying active, eating well, and resting enough, you can keep your energy up and enjoy your days more fully. Next, we'll talk about changes in your voice, another subtle sign of aging that might surprise you, and what you can do to keep your voice strong and clear. Have you ever noticed that your voice sounds different than it did years ago? Maybe it feels a bit raspier, or your pitch has dropped, or sometimes your voice sounds weaker or more tired after talking for a while. These changes in your voice are subtle signs of aging that often go unnoticed, but can reveal a lot about what's happening in your body. Our voice comes from the vocal cords, tiny muscles and tissues inside the larynx or voice box. As we get older, those muscles can lose some strength and elasticity, much like other muscles in our body. The tissues can also become drier or thinner, which changes how sound is produced. One of my friends, George, told me he first noticed this when he was on the phone with his daughter. He realized he had to speak louder than before, and sometimes his voice would crack or sound shaky when he was tired. At first, he thought it was just a cold or allergies, but then he noticed it happening more often, especially after a long day of talking or socializing. It turns out these changes are quite normal with age, but they can sometimes affect how we feel about ourselves. If your voice sounds different, you might feel less confident speaking in groups or on the phone, or you might avoid conversations because it takes more effort to be heard clearly. That's why it's important to pay attention and take gentle steps to keep your voice healthy. One simple but effective tip is to stay well hydrated. Dry vocal cords don't work as well, so drinking plenty of water throughout the day helps keep them lubricated. Avoiding too much caffeine or alcohol, which can dry out your throat, also makes a difference. Another helpful practice is to do gentle voice exercises. Humming softly, reading aloud slowly, or even singing can strengthen your vocal muscles. If you're not sure how to start, there are speech therapists who specialize in voice training, and they can guide you with exercises tailored to your needs. George also found that warming up his voice before speaking for a long time helped a lot. It's similar to how athletes stretch before a game. Taking a few minutes to do light humming or gentle pitch slides can prepare your vocal cords and reduce strain. If you smoke, quitting is one of the best things you can do for your voice and your overall health. Smoking damages the vocal cords and can accelerate voice changes. Sometimes voice changes can be linked to medical conditions like acid reflux, allergies, or respiratory infections. So if your voice changes suddenly, or you experience pain, persistent hoarseness, or difficulty swallowing, it's important to see a healthcare provider. Remember, changes in your voice don't mean you're losing your ability to connect with others. It's just another part of your body's natural journey. By paying attention and caring for your voice, you can continue to share your stories, laughter, and wisdom clearly and confidently. Next, we'll explore subtle skin changes, those little shifts in texture and tone that tell the story of a life well lived, and how to nurture your skin with kindness. Our skin is like a living scrapbook, holding the stories of every smile, every sunny day, and every gentle touch we've experienced throughout our lives. As men age, skin naturally changes, sometimes in ways that might surprise or even concern us. These subtle changes can reveal a lot about our true age, and taking a little time to care for our skin can help us feel comfortable and confident in our own skin. One of the first things you might notice is that your skin feels drier or rougher than it used to. This happens because as we get older, our skin produces less natural oils, which keep it soft and moisturized. Less oil means your skin might feel tight after washing, or you might see more flaky patches. It's a gentle reminder that your skin needs a bit more kindness now. I remember a gentleman named Bill who told me he started noticing dry patches on his hands and face during the winter. At first, he ignored it, thinking it was just the cold weather. But when it started to itch and look red, he realized he needed to change his routine. He began using a gentle moisturizer every morning and evening and switched to a mild soap that didn't strip away his skin's natural oils. That small change made a big difference in how his skin looked and felt. Another common change is the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. These come from years of smiling, squinting in the sun, and living life. While they are completely normal, some men feel self-conscious about them. The good news is, while we can't turn back time, protecting your skin from further sun damage is one of the best ways to keep it healthy. Wearing a hat, applying a broad-spectrum sunscreen with at least 30, and seeking shade during peak sun hours are simple but powerful habits. Age spots or liver spots are another subtle change you might notice. Small, flat brown patches usually appearing on the hands, face, or arms. They're harmless, but they can be a visual sign of accumulated sun exposure. If they concern you, a dermatologist can offer options to lighten them or explain treatments, but often, they're just a reminder of a life spent enjoying the outdoors. Skin can also become thinner and more fragile with age, which means cuts and bruises might heal a bit slower or seem more noticeable. That's why gentle care is so important. Avoid harsh scrubbing or overly hot water, and choose skincare products that are designed for sensitive, mature skin. One more subtle change is a loss of elasticity. That feeling when your skin doesn't bounce back quite as quickly after pinching or stretching. Collagen, the protein that gives skin its firmness, decreases naturally with age. While collagen creams can offer some help, staying hydrated, eating a balanced diet rich in antioxidants, and avoiding smoking all support your skin from the inside out. Bill's story reminds us that caring for our skin doesn't have to be complicated. Just a few simple habits, moisturizing daily, protecting from sun, and treating skin gently, can keep your skin feeling comfortable and looking healthy, no matter your age. Remember, your skin is a reflection of your unique journey, not a number. Embracing these changes with kindness and a little care can help you feel proud of the story your skin tells. Next, we'll wrap up with Part 8, exploring subtle changes in sleep patterns and how better rest can help you feel younger and more refreshed every day. As we get older, many of us notice that our sleep patterns shift in ways that feel a little different. Maybe you find yourself waking up earlier than you want, or having trouble falling back asleep after a bathroom trip in the night. These subtle changes in sleep can quietly reveal your true age, but they don't have to steal your energy or peace of mind. Our sleep is guided by our internal body clock, called the circadian rhythm, which can shift as we age. Many older adults experience lighter, shorter sleep cycles and might spend more time in the earlier stages of sleep rather than deep restorative rest. This means you might wake up feeling less refreshed or more tired during the day. John, a friend in his early 70s, shared with me how he used to sleep deeply for hours, but lately found himself waking up at 4 a.m., wide awake and frustrated. At first, he worried something was wrong, but his doctor explained this is common and that small changes in routine can help improve sleep quality. One helpful tip is to maintain a regular sleep schedule. Going to bed and waking up at the same time every day helps reset your internal clock. Even on weekends, keeping this rhythm steady encourages better rest. Creating a calming bedtime routine also makes a big difference. John started turning off screens an hour before bed, reading a book, and sipping a warm cup of herbal tea. These small habits signal your body it's time to unwind. Physical activity during the day, like a gentle walk or stretching can improve your sleep, but try to avoid exercising too close to bedtime as it might energize you instead. Also, pay attention to your sleep environment. A cool, dark, and quiet room supports deeper sleep. Comfortable bedding and limiting noise disruptions help you stay asleep longer. Sometimes bathroom trips wake you up at night. Limiting fluids a few hours before bedtime can reduce these interruptions. If you struggle with falling asleep or staying asleep, relaxation techniques such as deep breathing, meditation, or gentle yoga before bed can ease your mind and body. It's also important to look at your diet. Heavy meals or caffeine late in the day can interfere with sleep. Opting for lighter dinners and avoiding caffeine after early afternoon may improve rest. For some, medications or medical conditions can affect sleep. If poor sleep is persistent or impacting your daily life, it's a good idea to talk with your healthcare provider. They can help identify underlying issues and suggest solutions. Remember, good sleep isn't just about the hours you get. It's about quality. It's okay if your sleep looks different than it did decades ago. By adjusting your habits and being patient with yourself, you can find rest that renews your spirit and energy. John's story shows us that even subtle changes in sleep patterns can be managed with care and awareness. Sleep is a powerful foundation for health and happiness at any age. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the subtle signs of aging. Remember, every small change you notice is a chance to listen to your body, care for yourself, and celebrate the wisdom you've gained. If you found this helpful, please share your thoughts in the comments, subscribe for more gentle health tips, and take a moment to reflect on one small change you can make today for your well-being.